The story, I'll get to it later, but before that I'm going to complicate your life a little. So you see this fortification in front of you. You can see the corners right here. The only stone that was not discovered where you see it is the upper right. It was found down there, and it was picked up to place, which means all the rest is as it was discovered, totally covered up with meters full of garbage. Garbage from the last 2-3 centuries of the First Temple period, which means Iron Age 2. And that's interesting because it apparently means that whoever poured the garbage dump here did it on purpose. Maybe to even conceal this total place from the eyes of enemy approaching, and for that we'll need to continue a little bit. But after they removed the dump here, they found out that the bottom foundation of this guard tower isn't directly on bedrock, and that's very, very weird. It's actually on a pile of dirt. And if it's on a pile of dirt, it means that within the dirt what will be discovered? Pottery. Remains of pottery and whatever you want from antiquity, which means we can more accurately date the construction by what's underneath it and touching what was in its sides, and on top of it receiving what we can call a sandwich. What is underneath, what is in the middle, and what's up on top. So the construction happens between the underneath and the up on top. The construction is the middle, right? So can you imagine our cheese sandwich right here? Mm-hmm. So the archaeologists in 2014, removed part of the dirt underneath the tower and threw it directly to the garbage. He said the beginning I touched was exposed to the outside too much and therefore lost its archaeological significance. The moment he went some 20-30 centimeters underneath the rocks, he said this has been here since the construction. And then in participation with the Weizmann Institute, the physics lab of the Weizmann Institute, they started discovering pieces of organic remains that were stuck in between the ruins. They took them one by one with the layers from the bottom to the top, one by one, labeled where it was taken out of, and sent it all to carbon dating, carbon 14. Here they really did it. And Dr. Joe Ziel, that was in charge of the excavation, basically described to the Weizmann Institute, you are going to find here Middle Bronze Age sticks. A few months later, Professor Guaretto from the Weizmann Institute calls him and says, Joe, you were right. We did find Middle Bronze Age, and a lot more. They found Early Bronze Age, they found Middle Bronze Age, they found Iron Age, which means the construction took place when? In the Iron Age. And then he says, what do you mean? This is a Middle Bronze Age fortification. All the pottery nearby is fully Middle Bronze Age. There's nothing later inside this thing. How can it be built centuries later? It took them about 3 years to analyze all these finds and then publish them in an article. And it was published in a conference, and it was very interesting. He stands on the stage, describes all the finds, and then he says, I'll give you 3 optional explanations to what's going on here. 1, this fortification is Iron Age and not Bronze Age as I thought till yesterday. 2, the fortification started in the Middle Bronze Age. At the top, remember the 2 parallel walls? The whole filling there is only Middle Bronze Age. There's nothing newer. And then an additional tower was added to it in the Iron Age because of more need of protection.
Defensive. Yeah.
Defense. Option 3, that's something in the middle. There's a Middle Bronze Age fortification that goes through a total renovation about 1,000 or 900 years later, and that makes kind of a lot of sense with the time passing. But why did he make it like this and not say this is just Iron Age? Look at the construction, please. Look at the size of the boulders, the very irregular size and shape. In the Iron Age, fortifications are nicely organized. I don't know if you noticed this, and Shai didn't have time to talk about it in Tel Dan, but at the cultic site in Tel Dan, where the altar was, the construction that you sat on and you in front of, nicely square as stones. That's how they build in the Iron Age. In the Bronze Age, this is the construction style. So he said, I have Iron Age construction built like Middle Bronze Age. No one did this unless it's a renovation and touching something that already remained, and I redo it in some way. So in reality, I don't know exactly what's going on here. but I definitely know that into the Iron Age, into the First Temple period, there are renovations done in the fortifications here, telling us how important it is to the city. They didn't desert this place. They're still using it, reinforcing it, and strengthening it. And that allows us this corner where we won't bother any group that keeps on going by, and we can review whatever needed, take another moment, collect people from the bathroom, and so on. This space really needs an extra little outlet as